Hey, Russ, want to stop clicking?
Didn't he have to edit most of the episode because of this?
Listen, you can't just keep clicking. God damn it!
Welcome to the second episode of High Level Wizards podcast. Back here with the panel. We've told Russ to stop the clicking. He's here with us. Matt's here with us. G's here with us.
Yeah.
We're all gathered and we're ready to go.
Yeah.
So what are you guys up to this week? What do you guys want to talk about off the top of the show here with the High Level Wizards podcast? Matt.
Yeah, sure. So, not a lot new with me in terms of lots of Valve stuff, but we're gonna get to that later. So other than that, new for me. Actually, the biggest thing for me, this is something that we haven't really talked about yet in anything. Was actually there was a music release, and that was an artist named Pliny, and it's all like instrumental, music, and it's just.
It's funny. I saw
gorgeous.
you post about Pliny on Facebook, and I was going to be like, is it Pliny the Younger or Pliny the Elder?
Yeah, no.
I really hope people get my references to obscure.
Someone will.
Romans.
Someone will. But other than that, no. Just playing lots of Counter-Strike, playing more Dragon Ball Z as well, and but yeah, nothing too big other than the Valve stuff, which is really big. Russ,
How about you, Matt?
that's Russ.
Russ? I apologize.
So basically, I have only been doing one thing for the last 2 weeks.
What's that?
I found this game, Monster Hunter, and I basically sold my soul for it.
And that's on the 3DS, correct?
Yeah, the new 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an awesome find.
Why is this not a Wii U title?
They said that they only released it on the Wii U for number 3 because they needed the network capabilities of the Wii U. I guess the 3DS at the time just didn't have what it took, so
Okay.
I guess with the new 3DS they wanted to go with the new direction.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's I have to say, I've been fully aware of what you've been doing the last week or two. What is the big attraction? Tell us what's got you hooked.
Yeah, I still don't know.
I want to know.
Yeah,
It's a mixture of difficulty, carrot on a stick, and team play. And it's exactly like, the same reason people are attracted to Counter-Strike or Dota or League of Legends. It's the same game every time. I'm fighting this exactly the same time 50 times in a row, but it's so dynamic, and you get that chase the dragon feel on your character. You want to just smash the guy, and it feels good when you do in this game. They really improved it. They took out a lot of the slow play from number 3, so all the underwater stuff is removed. Now there's aerial combat, so you can jump off cliffs and land on guys with your hammer in the face, and it feels good because the monster will flip around and get knocked unconscious or something.
yes, you're just wrangling it, right?
So,
What did you tell me to give that monster no 350?
speaking of South Park, speaking of chasing the dragon, are you referring to the chasing the dragon in the South Park sense? Like it's addictive, like heroin?
Yes. Yeah, no, it's like heroin. It's slowly ruining my life. But
But you look great.
thank you.
really, really
Thank you.
slimming it down.
And a round of applause for how good Russ looks.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. But you can't applaud yourself.
Yeah, he's-
We're
oh,
applauding
shit.
you.
Don't worry, I'll edit out all of Russ's claps from that.
Claps and clicks. No. No. So, what did I say? And I wanted to mention, difficulty. It's super hard. Once you get in the beginning, it's kind of scrubby, but it escalates. So you're fighting the same monster the whole way through as the difficulty scales. But by the end of the game, the guy's got all these new moves. He's doing new things. He's faster. He's stronger. He's bigger. The hitboxes are crazier. You just have to deal with more shit. But you get more shit, so everyone's got more shit. It's that it's the WoW raid.
Loot chase.
It's the WoW. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Always just that much closer to such a nice new weapon get that shiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And literally,
need that.
they're literally called shinies, and
Yeah,
you're
there
running
you
to
go.
grab. Yeah. Then I guess the last thing is like the team play. I guess second last thing is team play. Like if you can find a solid team and you got that synergy, it's really awesome. Like one guy's doing this, he's trapping. There's another guy that's disabling the monster through status effects, and then there's other guys who are like focusing on parts of the monster to break off or to cut off, and then like if it all works out together, it's like a really good experience and so much fun. And vice versa. You got a bad team, you just want to throw your 3DS at the wall.
Which is conveniently sized for that.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll
They should have
survive.
shaped it like a boomerang, so it just comes right back to you.
No, it doesn't matter because you throw that at concrete and it just bounces right up and into your hands because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the last thing, I guess, difficulty. It's super hard. Like it's so unforgiving. So like a lot of the Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls players would probably appreciate how unforgiving like the game is. Anyways,
I would like that.
yeah.
I
it's
wish
good.
I honestly wish I had a new 3DS. I would play. But I'm
I-
just
If I was rich and I had expendable income,
Yeah.
I would buy you all 3DSs in Monster Hunter. I'd be like, I'm sorry.
you're going down
You're
with
going
me.
down. If I were...
Well, you know what? Captain always goes down with his ship. All right,
So-
fair enough.
That's pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
okay.
Yeah, that was good. That was good shit, guys.
What about you? What are you, G Slimpa B?
So, Beavis.
Slimpa douche. Booshes?
It sort of sounds like Simlish. From
Oh,
The
gee,
Sims.
shampoo dude.
We should probably just change the whole podcast to
Yeah,
that
Sim-ish.
language and see how it does.
Sim language, yeah.
But anyway, I've been playing a lot of games that are not new.
Yeah, that's not different for you.
Yeah,
though.
that's fine.
I've been playing CS like Matt.
Yeah.
CSGO.
Yeah, CS:GO.
Yeah, so that's...
And I've also been getting back into Star Trek Online.
Wow.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And it's free now, right?
Oh yeah, it's been free for years.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind trying that out just because, I mean, it's free, so like, I don't know.
It's free to play. Is pretty forgiving too. They give you a lot. Like I haven't felt compelled to really buy a thing yet. So
Because I know, like, upon the original release, it was just a complete mess.
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
Some
But I
people-
recently, didn't we all read? Were you? Did you?
Russ
Yeah,
played a
played
bit,
with
yeah.
you guys recently, yeah.
The only thing that I found a little bit annoying, like it seemed really smooth in terms of getting into the game, but it was the grouping and figuring out how to like get into quests together.
yeah.
It was really
That
weird.
was for some reason.
Russ and I did eventually figure it out, and to be honest, I haven't played in a group since I last played with Russ.
That's actually the whole meta of the game, is they created puzzle elements by just trying to figure out how to get together.
Yeah, and then you get together and you're done the game. You're like, congrats. gives you a nice little hug and a little Star Wars emblem and achievements and Steam, and you're done.
But it's
Star
honestly
Trek?
like if you're a Star Trek fan,
Star
like
Trek?
it's a pretty fun game. I mean, like if you've ever played any of other Cryptic's games, you've played this game.
Okay, I don't think I have.
I don't think I
They
ever.
What
did
else did they
Champions Online and the new Neverwinter game that I just won't even try because it just besmirches my beloved Neverwinter Nights.
Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2 are
Yeah,
awesome.
those
They're
are
so
those
good.
are
Well,
my
because
games.
those were essentially kind of like spin-offs of like the Baldur's Gate series,
Basically,
right?
yeah, they
Sort
were
of.
BioWare D&D based RPGs. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
quick, just thought and throwing it out there. I think there was a post, or I think it was more than a rumor that there was a full-on new Baldur's Gate being made.
what surprised me is BioWare making it.
I'm not sure.
They'll probably fuck it up by making it like Star Wars. Make it
Gee.
really shitty.
Just we all know to refer to the G rule. Anything after 1997 or whatever year it
terrible.
was is terrible. So
How many G's out of 5?
Yeah.
Is
For
4?
So you're gonna give it a 4?
no,
Wow, you're-
for what?
Oh, like, if it's 4
How
out of
bad-
5 G's, that's pretty damn bad.
How bad do you think it's gonna be on a scale of?
Oh, the
10
is
the
5 out of
Baldur's
5?
Gate game.
Yeah,
Send it back. Put it behind the
I
barn.
think if they do it like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights and sort of like try to leave behind the monetization that's so tempting nowadays, and if they don't go the like online MMO route
Yeah.
and like sort of leave it like the cool thing about Neverwinter Nights is that people could create their own worlds and then put them online as sort of like
Well, that's
an
what
MMO
that's what I like. I mean, I still haven't gotten into it because I've had a lot on my plate, and it's also a big thing to take in.
Yeah.
Meaty cock. Is Divinity Original Sin?
Yeah.
I've played
I'm like-
that a little bit. Honestly,
But I mean, but when you were saying people create your own worlds,
Yeah.
right? You can create your own entire RPGs and they're on the
Yeah.
workshop and you can download them and play them with people, right?
The only thing
And that's something I'd still want to get into. It's just a matter of
time.
it's more a mindset type thing. Like it's
There's that one that you linked on Facebook. Is that the one you're referring to? There's that, or was it you, Jeremy? There was like that Baldur's Gate style
the Numenera or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
don't know
that
what that
one,
is.
I believe, is going to have the open concept where like you can make your own RPG.
That's an indie
within
project,
this.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Point being, I think if they stay true to what make Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights good games, then fucking A, then it'll be awesome. And if they don't, then it'll be a shame.
yeah.
But on the one hand,
You can pause it here.
Yeah, no, I can just okay, I'll just pause it.
Edit this.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, go.
I have no idea what I just said because we had a interruption.
You know, it's not a bad time to actually throw a little thank you out to an avid listener, Tom.
Tam.
Our friend Tom, whatever you want to call him.
10.
He pointed out a little bit of an error that G did point out during the podcast, but
It enraged me.
I may have referred to Professor Xavier as Dr. Xavier.
I think that was me. I started it.
Yeah, well, so it's his
And
fault.
but we were all in the
Yeah,
mood,
yeah.
and we were like, we knew what you were talking
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
and we were just agreeing.
And then we
I'll
were
have you
talking
know,
about
I
this,
did not agree, and I was enraged and almost left.
but we have to acknowledge that there's no way he's not a doctor.
Well, he's got to have a doctorate in something.
There we go.
He's a
Yeah.
At
professor.
least
Yeah.
one. If you look at what he's done,
Yeah.
created, that's not just I'm Goodwill Hunting. I
Yeah.
read 45 books today. I know how to build this machine now to handle all these mutants.
Maybe
That's not how it works.
he's uncomfortable with the doctor title because he feels like maybe that's something that is reserved for medical doctors, like
Yes.
Dr. McCoy,
Yeah.
Beast.
He doesn't want to be the next Dr. Phil.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Abusing
Now, do
the
you
title.
think-
abusing it.
Do you think Doctor Doom has his credentials in order?
Oh, he
I
has
think
to.
so.
I think he's written a dissertation on Doom.
I literally don't know anything about Doctor Doom,
But now I want to.
but now I want to.
Okay.
All right.
So, I don't know, finish off scroll to the top. What's
Yeah,
new
no,
with
what
me?
would, yeah.
I have dived straight into the new release from Paradox, Cities Skylines, which is, for me, a gigantic release and a gigantic success so far.
I remember how disappointed you were with the last SimCity game.
Yeah,
I actually
that was
felt
a good-
bad for him.
Yeah.
I felt bad for everybody.
Yeah. I felt bad for, all of
It
humanity.
was like $70.
I pre-ordered the special edition. It was like
Ooh.
$78 some dollars.
Yeah.
And that game never met expectations. And to this day, they continue to flop around like a flailing trout.
It's like
On a
Magikarp.
It's just splash attacks, but with with none of the what's the word? None of the sweetness that is Magikarp, right?
Yes.
Everyone wants a Magikarp.
You need one.
No one wants SimCity 4.
That's why I'm so. That's why I'm so excited for Cities, because
Yeah.
they've got it right.
So explain exactly what's going on with City Skylines.
So-
Why is it so good? Why does it work?
Okay. One, it's large. The scale is large. So you're able to hop in and you can start building a small city, and as you go along, you unlock new abilities, new services for industry, for police, for education. Education's a big part of the game. So you're finding that it's really important to make sure you have lots of schools, and it's really interesting. The more you educate your citizens, the better jobs they get, the faster and more efficient they seem to be in terms of getting to or from places.
I noticed they kind of took a page out of the Sim Tower book, where they have families that are persistent within the world,
Yes,
and
yes.
you can follow them around if you
Yes.
want.
Yes.
Who was telling me about the story about the guy, or did I read it online?
Oh, I said that too.
Yeah. Where the guy, he complains about his mayor, who is the player at that
Yeah.
at that time, and he complains about his mayor literally the second after the mayor had just resolved the thing he was complaining about. So he's like, "Oh, really? Well, I'm gonna ruin your life." And he just went through this whole process of how he took away his family, burned his property.
Yeah. He flooded it with
Isolated-
sewage. Actually, he removed all of the water services from just his one house. And when you do that, then the sewage just builds up, and they'll have this house flashing with a sewage icon, and people inside will be very upset.
That's great.
Oh, I started with Rush Hour too. He made it so there was like one road for an entire city, and
And
it
it
was
went
like,
right by his house.
It
or
was like
something.
6 hours of rush hour just
Yeah,
to
he
get
was
to
stuck.
work.
He was stuck in traffic for like 3 days on his way to work, and then while he was
excellent.
gone, he moved his house, and so his family wasn't where he expected them to be. So when he came home, it wasn't there.
Yeah, I also heard that like the awesome thing about this was that like the people that live in your towns, like in your town, like they actually live in those specific houses
Yep.
and they go to work to specific places
Yeah.
and then
Sims-
go there and
Well,
back.
that's been a thing for a while.
That, like I
No,
said, Sim
no,
Tower.
Sims-
Sim Tower.
Sim Tower did that, but in the original SimCity 4 and
cities-
others, they would walk back to the first available open residential area.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't persistent
They
in
weren't
the same houses.
Cities had that. Like
Well,
they
cities
would
did.
they would live like in the ass end of nowhere, and they'd be working in the industrial
Yeah.
park in the opposite end
Cities
of the world.
did that, but
Yeah, no, it's talking about
SimCity
SimCity.
never did that.
Yeah,
Not properly. It
it's
was,
it's
it was
regrettable. But on a side note, SimCity 4 was like an incredible game.
Oh, it was great. I love
Rush Hour
SimCity.
was just mind-boggling.
Wait,
really good.
what was an incredible game?
SimCity 4?
SimCity 4
Rush
Rush
Hour?
Hour.
Oh, I
It was,
never played that.
it was
SimCity 5 was the bomb.
Oh, okay,
Four
sorry.
was-
Okay,
SimCity 4
I
was,
got
the-
confused.
was to me was one of the best SimCities they released.
Yeah.
It was
For
like
me,
a-
it was my favorite SimCity was 3000.
I think that
It's
was
good.
I like
I
3000.
still remember 2000
Yeah,
in my mind.
classic.
It's like, how do you... you can go underground. You know?
Yeah. You make a subway?
My properties are just giant R's
Yeah.
with squares.
Though I still like the original too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, so really lots of fun building a huge city. Wow.
We'll see if it picked
That
up.
was a little faint, but for our listeners, that was Russ sharing his fart with you.
We'll see if that.
Really
Can you
offensive.
edit that out?
No.
No, that's staying in.
That's your mistake now. So yeah, no. In terms of the city, it's been a really good game. Last night I spent probably about 4 hours ripping apart the complete traffic infrastructure of my city to build in some new elevated freeways, which solved a lot of problems. for
Just
me.
like Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Road work all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't fix it here. They just do work on it and then do work on it again in 2 years. They don't fix anything.
Oh, I see there's a giant 3-foot hole there. Let me fill this with some black stuff for this year.
So I realize we need a second podcast. It's called Winnipeg Roads, and it'll
Yeah.
probably be about 5 hours weekly. All right,
And it'll just be 4 guys standing around with a sign.
And
And Timmy's.
so you mentioned the schools. Did I got a building, didn't I, in your city?
yes, actually, that's true.
Yeah.
I made a Russ University.
Yeah.
There's a Matt Park.
Yeah, what's it called again?
I believe it's called Matthew Rudowich's Penis Land.
No, that's great.
Oh, that's where you get the hookers.
Yeah.
No, it's actually in a really nice residential area. It's
I stand by my
upward. Okay,
words.
well, it's possible. It's possible.
They're good hookers.
And then
High
I
class.
think I named
Julia Roberts. No,
Yeah.
I think I named the dog park after my dog, and I think I named a street after G, and it's
How come these guys get neighborhoods and I get a fucking street?
because your street goes all the way through the city,
Oh, okay.
so it's G Street. And it's just like, yo,
Boss.
head down to the convention center. It's on G Street.
That's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Allowable.
All right.
Allowed.
So yeah, that's what we've been up to the last little bit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So let's get into something that's really exciting for all of us.
Yes.
I think by all of us I mean everyone who's involved in PC gaming in any way whatsoever. Let's talk about some of the Valve announcements this week, guys. I know I'm excited.
Okay.
I
Jeez,
know.
where to start?
I can already tell that it came out.
Unroll the scroll.
Hear ye. Where's that parchment?
All right, well let's okay. We'll start somewhere. How about controller? What do you
Yeah.
guys think of the finalized look of the controller?
I don't give a shit about the controller.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I mean, most of the games are Xbox layouts, so yeah, I'm with G.
I care. I'm excited
I
about it.
realize that. Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I really want to just put it in my hands and
So
just
why?
caress it.
Tell us. Convince these two why that it's exciting.
Okay, so mostly, I mean, I want it because from what I've heard, essentially it already... Okay, so if you were just to play like whatever normal like Xbox style controller game that you would with it, right? What?
Nothing.
Okay. If you were to play like any sort of like Xbox style controller game with it, apparently it just it works, it feels fluid, everything, it feels intuitive, even with like it's got the dual track pads, right, that you can put your thumbs on, and a an actual like
analog stick.
like a joystick,
Yeah.
and then like 4-button layout, and then shoulder buttons as well, and so apparently, like, I forget exactly if the track pads are like, if they're purely like flat with like a little bit like the haptic feedback, like little vibe sensations, or if they're actually a little bit clickable as well. I think they might be a little bit clickable as well.
But having all haptic, I mean, it's gotta eventually drain the battery pretty quick.
Apparently,
what's the battery life on it?
I don't know.
No, we
I
don't.
personally don't know.
Here's the other thing: is like as ambitious as it is, it's like, okay, so the trackpad, it's a cool concept, but I mean, is it really going to be better than a mouse and keyboard? Like,
No.
I
This
doubt
is
it.
not. This is not. I don't see this as a replacement. I just see it as another option.
Then what's the point?
because I only have 2 controllers and I need 2 more.
So here's
I'd rather
I think the point.
Get Xbox
The
controllers.
point for
No.
Valve is so that they can package their own controller with Steam machines.
Yeah.
They want to be able to hand these to developers who are developing for Steam.
You know what?
Because there's
Sell me a Steam machine with a mouse and keyboard. A
But-
good one.
but that's not the point of a Steam machine. If you want a PC, you go buy a PC.
Yeah.
Steam
Yeah, but if
machines-
you want a console, you go buy a console. This is just a PC.
no, but
It's a
the,
hybrid.
The point
Yeah.
is, G, is that this is the end of that argument. This is what Valve
Is
is
it,
going
though?
for. Is Valve does not want to this constant console versus PC argument. Why can't we all just be gamers who
Yeah.
like games and play it on different formats?
Because,
What is that? Why is
Jeremy,
that a problem?
Some of us are plebs, and some of us are Romans.
But I think you're oversimplifying it. I think
I
that
am.
Yeah.
I think that
Deliberately.
Yeah. No,
I think it's a very powerful and good thing. Like, look at War Thunder. I think War Thunder is a great example of when you combine console gamers and PC gamers.
Except, I think in
Yeah.
that game, like, the console gamers get just absolutely trashed.
That might be true in the planes. It's not true in the tanks.
Yeah, and I haven't really played tanks.
Yeah.
I played it once.
At least
We'll play
I don't
tonight.
know.
We'll play tonight.
Okay.
You should. It's fucking great.
The tanks.
It's,
We want to touch on that for 2
insane,
seconds.
Yeah.
The tanks mode in War Thunder is
It's
absolutely worth your
absolutely
time.
so fun.
But the controller is just. Imagine you're Valve and you're like, hey, buy this Steam machine, but it comes with Microsoft branded controllers and
Yeah.
Xbox on it.
Yeah.
It just looks bad.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that they want this.
Here's
to be,
the thing, though. If it's not meant to replace the mouse and keyboard, why the trackpads?
because it's not meant to replace. It's meant so that, like, let's say you want to play Civ 5 with a controller, you have, like, you can use your trackpads to move your mouse around and move the map around and whatever, like, you know, dynamic, like,
Don't you
like,
think
you know, like
that would
swiping your
just
thumb
make
or
you be
whatever.
like, I want to play with my mouse because it's easier to
but
control.
not
for
if you're in a situation where you want to be sitting in your living room and play.
But what
have this-
happens if you want to play Street Fighter on your hybrid console? How are you going to do that with these pads?
Well, for me personally, I use the stick anyways when I fight,
So if
as
you're-
opposed to the D-pad.
So if you're a D-pad pleb,
I don't know. I'm not exactly
It
sure.
also depends on how Street Fighter wants to implement it
Yeah.
and how they want, if they even want to allow people to use that.
Oh no,
That's-
it'll be allowed. Everything will be allowed. It's just a matter of how well it's
Yeah.
gonna feel, right?
I think it just goes to adding another choice for people. Like, I
Yeah.
had this conversation the other day. I was over at my friend's place, and you guys know I'm not a big Call of Duty fan, right? So I'm over there, and I'm watching these two play Xbox,
Advanced
Call
Warfare.
of Duty Zombies, Advanced Warfare,
Yeah.
and their aim is just as good as somebody who's on, like I'm talking about a buddy who plays literally probably 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
you get used to it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, so if I put a keyboard and controller in front of him, he would feel like me with a controller in
That's
my
right,
hand.
yeah.
So that's like why I stick to kind of sports titles, because when I go to a shooter and I have a controller, I'm like, I know I could do better. I would have had
Yeah.
him if I had a keyboard.
Yeah.
And so that's the feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that's your problem with it, not so much that like there's
Yes,
console
exactly.
gamers
Yeah,
flooding
yeah.
onto.
No,
shared
I
servers.
honestly don't like when I joke about plebs, but
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
besides,
because you're always gonna be mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
so besides that, anything else to say about the controller?
I'm just excited for it. I want to put it in my hands.
I am
wanna-
curious to try it.
Yeah.
I would be curious to try it as well.
I'll try it for sure.
Yeah.
Like I just. I guess Valve has become one of those companies I have faith in
Yeah.
to try things.
Yeah.
So if they say, "Hey, this is a feature we have in Steam Beta," like the broadcasting, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll try that out."
Yeah.
Whereas there's other companies out there like EA who check out this really cool, and I'm like, no, that's cool. Delete the email. Like, I just don't have time for it.
It's the track record.
So controller.
Yeah.
The next thing think maybe we could talk about is the Steam Link.
Yes. Okay.
Honestly, I think that's the best thing that they've come out
Yep.
with. I mean, the Steam machines are even arguably not that useful, but the Link, however, is great because it's cheap and it does exactly what you want it to.
Okay.
Which is stream your PC games to the living room.
awesome.
So just for those who don't know what we're talking about, because there's probably a lot that don't. The Steam Link. Okay, so Steam has a feature that lets you stream your content off your main PC onto another PC. So like, let's say, or a laptop or whatever. So let's say you want to play in the living room, you want to play somewhere else. You can run the regular game or whatever on your main beast of a machine, and then have it streaming through your home network to, some shitty laptop that you paid $200 for, but it's got a screen and it can attach, it can access your network, and it'll send the audio and video to your laptop. You see everything going there. You can input your commands and play on it. It routes that back through to your PC and then to the servers or whatever, and it's like you're playing with your regular PC, but somewhere else.
So
right?
hardware doesn't matter at all. It's all about
about your
network
connect.
speed.
It's all about network speed.
An internal network. Like
Yes.
you're not
Yeah.
really accessing outside.
Yeah, and
even
so-
that doesn't matter. That's dealing with it on your main PC.
Yeah. And so what this does is, I guess a lot of people would I've done this where I would stream it to my laptop, and then from there HDMI my laptop to my TV in the living room.
Yeah.
And then now it's on my TV in the living room.
And that
right?
works.
And that works.
Yeah.
Very little latency as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Completely dependent on your network. It's magic.
Yeah.
It is high level wizardry.
When I first tried it, I tried Far Cry 4
Yeah.
on my laptop, which can't even barely run Counter-Strike.
Or Minesweeper.
Pretty much, yeah. And it ran great. I was
Yeah.
lying in bed playing Far Cry, and I was like, this is really weird to me because I'm not using, it's not warming up. It's just, I'm literally kind of just playing a stream.
Yeah.
It's a very cool concept.
Yeah.
And that kind of, again, it's bridging a gap, right? So, for
Yeah.
example, in my basement here, my TV is close enough to my computer that I have it just permanently HDMI'd.
Yeah.
So one day when I move, have another TV in the house,
Or a second
that
room or
Steam
whatever.
Link is just
Yeah,
essential.
so what Steam Link does is essentially it replaces that need for that piece of hardware that connects to your TV. So I have a laptop and I would stream it to, and then HDMI from the laptop to the TV. Now you can just buy this little box, like a $50 Steam Link quote unquote box. It's got wireless capabilities. It's got Ethernet, and it has a few USB ports as well. And it will support mouse, keyboard, Xbox controllers, whatever.
Wow.
And you can just
Wow.
plug into that.
Wow.
And then plug to your TV, and now you're streaming through that box to your TV.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Because
It's
they
amazing. It's
they
just-
break down the borders, whereas in terms of Xbox versus PlayStation, I
Yeah.
could never envision walking over to my buddy's place and having a mix of controllers and making that work.
Yeah.
Valve
Wait,
just
say that again? What do you mean?
I'm gonna
Having
hook
two
up
different-
2 PlayStation controllers with my Xbox, and we're gonna work together,
Oh.
and we're gonna have that kind of synergy. Whereas a Valve, it's like anyone who's got a USB controller, you walk up, plug it in,
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
do this.
Let's go,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
One dongle, everybody bring your wireless.
Valve's big thing, especially with their big picture mode and everything.
Yeah.
They're envisioning the whole bringing entertainment, away from your little desk to the living room, which is great,
Or to anywhere.
or to anywhere, right?
Like you could be
And-
in your backyard.
Yeah, and I feel like this Steam Link is the biggest, the best overall best thing that they've done
I think it's
for
only
that.
like $50 too.
Yeah, $50.
Yeah.
So
It's just a little box.
Yeah.
It's just
Think-
a bit more than
think
Chromecast.
Chromecast.
Yeah.
Think Chromecast, but for your Steam. That's
For your
literally
gaming.
what it is
Yeah.
designed for, and it's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And you talk about like the next component, right? So we have Steam controller, Steam Link,
Yeah.
and then the final kind of component of their big announcement
Yeah.
was the Steam machines, which was a list of a bunch of different
Well,
machines.
which we've known about for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been
Yeah.
showing prototypes.
Yeah.
And,
But did you see the price range? I mean, the price range went from anywhere from $450 to you're talking about
7,000.
$10,000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like if
But
you were buying a
such
crazy.
a moddable computer.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
sorry, I said it.
It's a
Hybrid.
close-
It
Isn't
is.
it? It's a
console
closed system, isn't it?
PC.
It's a
a
moddable. It's just a small form factor PC. That's
Yeah.
it with Steam OS.
Yeah.
preloaded on it, and actually that's been getting a lot of traction too. A lot of games have been released on.
It's
on
a
Steam
Linux-based OS. I'm wondering how good it's actually going to be.
Apparently, it's great, and,
So-
and a lot of games have converted to it
I
too. And,
guarantee they put the funds into
So
it.
Yeah.
when you run big picture
oh, and
mode,
it's efficient as fuck.
Yeah.
There's like very little overhead in terms of like background like processes and just
A lot of
shits
games
that are.
just don't have the Linux support. Though I guess maybe with Valve behind it, then
That's
they'll start.
that's the thing. Porting a game to that
Yeah.
not actually that hard,
Yeah.
but it's just since
the audience
no one,
is so small.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
it doesn't justify the means to do it. But now as things are starting to bubble up and slowly grow, people are starting to see the value in it.
Or
So-
they
or
use
developers are
some sort
starting to
of
see
like
the value.
virtual machine system where they can still run Windows games in like
Yeah.
an environment,
Yeah.
and that's really actually like that's the way the world's working in right now.
if you're worried about the Windows versus Linux, just go open up big picture mode in your Steam. You're now.
What's
in Steam.
funny-
You're now in Steam OS. That's what it looks like. That's how it
Microsoft
functions.
is now in such a scramble over all this Steam OS shit. They had their
Probably. I know that.
their
Sorry,
executive
go on.
guy came out in an interview with PC Gamer being like, "Oh yeah, now we care about PC gaming
Yeah.
and we're going to support it."
Yeah.
But then the only thing he says about it is like, "Oh, we're going to make it so you can stream your Xbox games to your PC."
Yeah,
And
Xbox
I'm like,
One.
PC gamers don't fucking care about that. At all.
Shots fired.
But here's the thing: is that everything I'm reading about Microsoft in the last 6 months is nothing but positive.
Yeah, I
They've
agree.
changed. That new CEO has come in and changed the entire development cycle. They've changed how they work on games. You can go download Windows 10 right now.
Yeah.
You,
I agree that it's not the same company, but here's the thing with Microsoft. Every couple years they come out like, "Oh, PC gaming's our thing."
yeah, but
We carry
okay,
it.
but
Willikers.
you guys seem to forget about Windows 8 and how much better it is for gaming over Windows 7.
Yeah,
they made
Very true.
Yeah.
drastic
Yeah,
changes
they
that
did.
run so much better.
nice.
Why was
Yeah.
Windows 8 such a flop then?
Because of the menu. It had nothing to do with the back end technology
It was
of
too
the
far,
OS.
straying
yeah.
too far from the pack.
Yeah, too much like trying to be Microsoft Surface.
Like, hey, do you have
but
a touch
8.1
screen?
is nice.
When it first came out, 8 was like it was like for phone. I remember the first phone
Windows
that
phone.
came out. Yeah.
Yep.
They
8,
wanted to
and-
push that,
and
yeah.
then that was on your computer, and people didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
They were a little bit too ahead of their time, but now it feels right. Like
Because us PC gamers,
they just put a nice dress on it, did
we're
its
kind
hair
of
a little
like
bit.
anything that reeks of
presented it.
another platform as PC gamers or PC users in general. We're kind of like, no.
I don't think
Sure,
PC
yeah.
gamers are as skeptical.
Well, I am.
Because, like, for example, we'll talk about 8. 8 has
Windows 8.
Windows 8. The only thing that really sucks is the menu, and you can literally go and download a 31 megabyte app that turns it into the Windows
Look,
7
I'm not
log.
saying that
hang
it's-
on. Windows, it turns it into Windows 7, and then you click a button that says "Take me straight to desktop."
Yeah.
You are now in Windows 7. It looks like Windows 7, except you're getting faster boot times.
Yeah.
You're getting better memory
Yeah.
usage. You're having better access to the back end commands.
It is better.
Device manager, all that stuff.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying it's not better. I'm just saying that the impression it gives
Yeah.
to people who aren't using it and who are heavily into the PC,
Yeah.
it reeks of this thing where it's like, oh, this is another platform coming in, and as especially PC gamers, like, we are very mistrustful of that because any game that comes from like the console to PC
yeah.
or a game say that starts development on PC, but then it's like, oh, now we're doing it for console,
Yeah.
and then immediately PC gamers like, oh, that means dumbing down, it
Yeah.
means being consoleized, and it
Yeah.
means shit.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think that's AAA games only. I think there's indie games out there that cater to both, and it's no problem.
He's not saying all games, but it's just it
AAA
is a thing that we think about.
AAA console titles,
Yeah.
absolutely. When they're ported, there's just it's.
And here's the other thing.
Watch
is that
Dogs.
Indie developers are kind of protected by the indie title. It's like having early access or alpha tagged onto your game.
But when indie titles account for close to 42% of total PC game sales, they're not just indie anymore.
I agree.
No.
They
I
are
agree.
a big part of the industry,
Yeah.
and they're driving good things to happen.
I
And
agree.
If that's a big problem for you when you buy a game and it's consoleized, then
mostly-
don't buy it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. I don't pre-order anymore.
Vote with your wallet.
Your money determines who succeeds and
Yeah.
what policies go forward. If you don't like
Well, my
the way
wallet
EA
doesn't.
or Valve,
People like things that I hate because they're fucking stupid.
All right, okay. So we went off track a little
yes.
bit, but
So Valve,
My bad,
yeah,
sorry.
no, that's
Derailed
fine. The
so
last
hard.
thing I wanted to point, you said the last thing that they brought out was Steam machines.
But no,
nay. The last thing that I want to point on is they're stepping into VR.
Yes.
And
yes.
Now there's something worth talking about.
That's so cool.
So
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 I
can we
honestly
Steve Link wasn't
agree,
worth talking
fuck
about?
Oculus Rift from here on in.
kind
No.
of. Well, no.
No, because
This
there's,
is going to drive the market.
Yeah,
now
they're both
Ocu-
gonna be like, like you can't see what I'm doing, everyone, but my hands are going up. I'm like, as in they're both like
You need
just
to have
striving, competing and striving for.
But it's
that,
not. It's not just
that
a
share.
two-horse
It's like
race.
it's like climbing
No,
a burning
it's
ladder.
not.
But it's
Yes.
not. It's not
Yes.
a two-horse
It
race.
is. Yeah,
guys.
no.
It's-
It's
there's more than just the HTC and the Oculus.
you know what? Honestly, it's maybe a 4-horse race because there's that, and then there's those two. Then there's the Gear, I believe, is like an Android Note thing.
Microsoft's working.
I've
on
only
one.
heard
Hollow,
of Oculus.
the
and-
Hollow.
Yes.
Google is
lens.
working on their own. That
Yeah,
are going to
yeah,
work
yeah.
with Android devices.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
It's happening.
so
The
It's
to
future.
happening.
me,
This
the
is
more
future.
people you hop into the VR,
Yeah.
the better because it's all developing.
Yeah.
Like you're
Okay,
saying.
so let's just. I'm just gonna.
Can I say something about VR?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
remember. Okay, back when I was, I must have been like
Back in 1992.
It actually probably was around 1992. But point being, I was about 12 or 13, and my uncle, my wealthy uncle, owned this condo in Whistler.
Okay.
So me and my dad and my sister, we'd go up there once in a while to go skiing and shit and stay at my uncle's condo. But one year we went up, and they'd opened up this really cool arcade. And in this arcade, they had this booth, and it was like this VR booth, really early.
It's true. I was
Really early.
Yeah.
And it was just I remember just being so blown away. I mean, the graphics were shit. But I remember just being blown away that I could look with my head and turn my body. It was a very interesting experience, and I'm sort of curious to see how they do this. Because, in the Whistler arcade, they had, this booth that was sort of, built. You could, step around on, the special surface to, move your character and stuff. And I'm wondering how new VR is going to handle that without...
So the biggest thing that people have liked about Valve's and HTC's VR machine, the Vive, I believe it's called, compared to the Oculus, is that it already has 1080p resolution, nice, 90 hertz refresh rate, nice. So it's all those things working in tandem that quash any feeling of motion sickness, right? You need that nice immersive blend. As soon as you start looking and there's a bit of stutter, there's a bit of whatever, your body's senses essentially get confused and and it makes you nauseous and you might want to throw up.
Yeah.
And obviously different people are going to have different levels of that, but essentially you want it all working and having very nicely tuned together for it to be a good experience. And so all of that looks great, feels great. It's got full head tracking, everything. But it also has... There are sensors that you essentially put in two corners of your room, and those essentially scan your room and track your whole body, and there are actually these one-handed controllers, almost like Wii nunchuck type deals that you have in both hands.
Yeah.
And there was a VR tech demo. Look it up if you can, but it's there. It's Valve's VR tech demo with Portal 2 type stuff. And you're essentially going with, what was the little robot's name? Watley? The eye?
I don't remember.
Watley?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna get fucking flamed for this. Anyways, and but you're following him around and he's talking, and then he's there's a big robot that expands and all the pieces fly out and they're all rotating in 3D, and you're you can walk around and look at it and manipulate it, and and the sensors in your room. I think the room sensors weren't used in this particular demo, but you can manipulate objects and it feels like you're in there. And then the nice thing about the room sensors is that versus the Oculus so far is a sitting device. They don't really have a means to gauge you with you walking around your room, because you're just gonna bump into things and shit, right? But with this, it scans your room and it kind of, there's information that's given to keep you from bumping into things. That's and awesome. Stuff, I don't know if it's if you walk too close this way it'll vibrate or what, or maybe you'll actually have some
sort of visual representation.
So I'm not sure, but the information's there, and developers can use it there
It
will.
sort of reminds me of the holodeck from
Yeah,
Star Trek:
yeah.
The Next Generation. I always wondered because it's like a really small room, like,
And then
but
it
the
happens-
environments are huge. And it's
like an
how
entire
are they not
city.
just walking around in a
Yeah,
circle
yeah.
like the whole time? You're like,
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just gonna touch on that briefly because it's not like either like any of us have used this thing.
Yeah,
or anything,
no.
but it looks really
But
exciting.
exciting, yes.
Oh god, I cannot
If we
wait.
if we were to sit here, we could talk about Valve
Yeah.
Forever
and
and
their
ever.
stuff
Yeah.
all night. But I'm thinking we should probably move
Yes.
on. We
Yep.
got a few other things we want to get to,
Yeah.
so let's get to something that I'm sure we have a diverse opinion about. Something that that's rooted in our childhood and also
Uh-oh.
in our teenage angsty years.
Yeah.
Pregnancy.
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Star
Oh
Wars.
yes. Ah.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going, but Star
You said
Wars.
teenage, and I just never mind. What?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Star Wars is coming out with a new trilogy. We can all say we love the original because I know that's true.
Ah yes,
Yep.
Episode 1. What a
No.
masterpiece!
The original trilogy.
guys,
G's up, G's out.
Jesus
Bye.
Christ.
Yeah, see ya.
By the original trilogy, I clearly mean 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So let's not joke around.
The
That's
classics.
serious.
That actually was borderline offensive what I
Yeah.
just said. I'm
like
sorry.
that's basically like you just basically gave me a Jar Jar Binks doll as a gift, and I just want to die. So let's start with G, since we want to start with the most positive comments we can think of.
The most positive, forward-thinking gentleman I know.
Here's
What are you expecting? What are you worried about with the new?
well, let me
trilogy?
just comment on Star Wars as a whole first.
Let's do it.
It's the most overrated franchise of all time.
Oh, wow.
However,
I'm literally gonna
Just
kill him.
drop the mic, basically.
Wow.
listen,
Yeah.
here's why.
Okay, tell
Name
us.
one other franchise where half the movies, if you were to put all the movies into a hat and you pulled one out at random, you have a better chance of pulling out a movie that is complete shit.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's not a beloved movie franchise, though.
I mean, it
The
is,
beloved
but not on the
No, it's
same
not
level.
Star Wars.
Not on the
Then
same
no, I
level.
can't.
And here's the thing: I love the original trilogy, and that's the thing about Star Wars. Star Wars only works when it's a zippy space adventure, not when it tries to become a political Game of Thrones thriller thing. Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't work.
Yeah,
George Lucas, not a good writer.
you're clicking.
Sorry,
Stop
George
clicking.
Lucas, not a good writer. Like think of the other movies he's done, like the Indiana Jones movies, awesome movies, but the stories are shit.
He's not touching these next
He's
three.
not a storyteller. He's a
He's-
movie. He's a movie.
But he's not
maker.
involved in the next three.
Well, I mean, it's like,
He wrote the original.
And here's the
Yeah,
thing: it will
yeah.
only be better for it.
yeah, I completely agree.
And here's the
And
thing:
I'm glad.
I think South
So
Park
when
put
the
it best
bar
with
is
the
set
raping
so
of,
low, when the bar
Indiana Jones,
Dim
right?
panties, take them out.
when the bar is set so low as in like episode 1, 2, and 3, it's like you basically can't do wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a huge J.J. Abrams fan. I don't think he really got Star Trek, and I don't think those are bad movies either.
Yeah,
but
they're good. They're good for what they are. They could have been
more
more,
Star Trek.
more Gene Roddenberry.
Yes.
The insanely hardcore fans probably don't appreciate the new Star Treks, but I think
I think it's good for
90
the franchise, and
90
it's good to get more people excited
I
about
agree.
it as a
90
whole.
to 95% of people that did go in and say they liked it are
Yeah.
probably new into the series.
Yeah, and now they're gonna go back and watch
They
the old
said
stuff.
there was
you
something
know?
like a 40% uptake. So if you saw one of the new Star Trek movies, there was a 40% chance of you going out
that's pretty
and
good.
finding old episodes, whether it was Next Generation or old movies,
Or the
and
original
watching them. And I
series,
can
yeah.
say, I'm one of them. I watched the first Star Trek movie, and he was
like the
so
first new
the
one.
first new one, and I was like, man, why haven't I watched this? And I'd watched Next Generation before, but not in like order or like paid
Yeah.
attention to it.
Yeah.
So I went back and I watched like the original series of Next Generation all the way through. I watched all the Star Trek movies. I didn't get into the original series because
It's
for
good.
whatever reason, I mean, it's good, but it's just a
Too
little
campy.
too retro for me.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much.
You know what? There's campier stuff than that.
Yeah,
Sure,
Batman.
like Batman 66.
Yeah. It's not like there is the campy stuff, but that Roddenberryness is still there. You know, like
Yeah.
It's similar
So-
to Lost in Space. Do you remember the original?
Yes.
I used to watch
Here's
that
the
a lot
thing
as a
about
kid.
the. Okay, wait, no. Sorry, let's get back.
We're,
Yeah,
on
we're
Star
off,
Wars.
we're off
Get back-
topic
get
again.
back.
We'll do Star Trek next
Yeah.
week because I have a lot to say about Star Trek too.
Okay, Star
let's-
Wars. Yes.
So
Let-
what
let
do
me-
you think expectation-wise? What are
I
you worried
honestly, I think they have nowhere to go but up. So
Yeah.
about? So you're not worried.
there's no real lose here.
Yeah.
It's just if they're bad, then they're no worse than the other movies, and if they're good, then they're
And
already
that's awesome.
way better.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. No, that's right.
What about you, Russ? What are your expectations or worries?
Oh,
about the new-
wait. Star Wars has survived on its extra movie universe, like the books and the
Yeah.
games.
Oh, and the Clone Wars
The extended
like,
universe,
stuff was
the
good.
TV
Apparently good too.
shows.
Yeah.
I never watched that. I didn't
Apparently
watch
it was good.
cartoons.
Apparently it was
It's
really
really
good.
good. Yeah, it's really
The
good.
cartoon, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
very good.
So that's So like, I hate the newer movies. And hopefully the ones coming out will be better.
Gee,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
would have guessed?
Yeah, who
yeah.
would have guessed? Thank you, G. Yeah, that makes. I guess that's kind of a positive way to look at it. For once, that's really good. Yeah, it's fair to hear G be looking forward to something. But Russ, what do you think? What's your expectation? You got any worries about the new Star Wars trilogy?
Well, you know what? I watched the trailer. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like they're kind of pulling back a little bit. It looks like they don't want to get that sleek design ships. You know, they're going a little more retro,
It's gonna be a gritty. Looks like a gritty movie.
gritty deserts.
Yeah.
But like as a fan of the original so hard, I wish that they do really release that sort of space adventure that G mentioned. You know, like I've rewatched the originals, the unedited, obviously, clearly, because I'm not a pleb. Recently, tons of times. You know, I still play the board game or the tabletops. It needs to be good. I want it to be good. You have to be good.
You know, it will be cool seeing Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark
Yeah.
Hamill reprising
Yeah.
the role.
If he bounces back, he got into a plane accident.
Yeah,
Well,
apparently
I-
it's not that bad.
Apparently,
I think
okay.
they're done filming his parts, aren't they?
They might be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's probably 2
coming
years.
out in December.
Yeah.
He broke his leg on set, and then after he was done his filming, from what I understand, he then crashed his plane on the
Into a golf course.
But it was like this classic, super old, like I think
His
it was
biplane.
a 50s plane.
Yeah.
It was a 50s warplane.
Yeah.
Like it was all yellow with like the old Air Force logos and stuff. It was
It's
really cool.
such a throwback to the Indiana Jones line.
It's
Yeah.
funny
Can you
because
fly?
when I-
Yeah, but I can't let her.
He probably hopped out and was like, I belong in a museum.
So on a final side note, before we get to Matt, I don't know if you saw, I retweeted that photo of the crash scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the Millennium Falcon crashing into a golf course.
Yeah.
It was pretty fantastic.
Awesome.
So, Matt,
Yeah.
new Star Wars trilogy. Do you agree with these guys? You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I pretty much agree with G. I'm like when I first heard about it, I was like very skeptical, and then I heard that George Lucas wasn't going to be touching it, so I went yay. And then I heard that J.J. Abrams was going to be touching it, and I was like, okay. And yeah, I mean, I think it'll be okay. Like, just have him. I really like his movies. He's done a lot of good stuff. Just hold back on the lens flares and the blue tint, and I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of in agreement here.
Yeah.
I have the same sentiment. I'm not worried. They've done a really good job. Disney handling the Marvel products or the Marvel brand. They've put out some really good movies, and if they can do the same for the fact they own Star Wars now, that would be great. George Lucas being not part of it is clearly the best and most positive thing, though.
It's like the Lucas hug of death.
And one thing
that you
I
need to
will say
avoid.
about Disney is they're not in the business of ruining their IPs.
Yeah.
No, they really aren't.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't get you anywhere. You
Yeah.
need to make money. Disney's all about money.
Yeah.
And they need to gain that audience. And who are they going to reach if they get both audiences? The
All
old
the money.
and the new?
It looks like it's finally come to the point. It's only taken like 20 years for like the big head honchos up top to realize, oh, if it's not good, everyone's gonna know because of internet.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's not just like the 50s where you could just release shit and then people don't know about it for fucking 5 or 6 years because you have to mail
not
out
even
these
that.
reviews by horseback.
And then
You paid a nickel to get in the theater. What do you care? It was bad.
Yeah.
and then 20 years later, it accidentally becomes a cult classic.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to the next segment. Next segment is we got some good positive feedback from people. They really liked it, actually. We've watched the movies, or at least I have this week to get up. But we're gonna do What If It Was Dungeons and Dragons with aliens. So that's the second Alien movie.
Yeah.
What If It Was Dungeons and Dragons? Russ, you're kind of the lead here. You're our dungeon
Master.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and take us through some of these characters here, let's do it.
Welcome, travelers.
I have my mother.
I forgot my character sheets at home.
I see you've gathered your party. Yeah, I'm stoked. Okay, so let's open the gates with the lead party member.
Ripley?
Ripley.
You got it. You got it. That badass bitch.
I have to
She
say,
is the coolest action chick, I say, of pretty much that 80s, 90s generation. Like she was in all 3, 4. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
She
in a time where I think there wasn't a lot of lead ladies in action movies.
Or there were, and they were shitty.
and they needed that sort of like, and she's like, okay, let's throw it out there. She's half hot, but she's not like that overly top.
Yeah.
Like they're not
Not
throwing.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox is not a. Like,
Megan Fox is not believable when she's running through explosions.
Yeah.
and I feel like
Sigourney Weaver is
Yeah.
believable the entire time. I'm like,
Not
oh
only
yeah.
that, but she's believable as a starship captain.
yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah,
Okay, but we're talking about D&D here.
yeah. Okay,
Right.
so she's badass. She not only takes down the end boss, she does it with a flamethrower, pretty much.
So
Grenades.
Is she a caster? An elementalist, if you will. Of specializing in fire?
See, but the thing is, she
Are you
only
saying fire mage?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay.
so she's a wizard with basically just fireball,
Yes.
flame touch, or is that
She's a theme wizard.
is that a thorough magist?
I don't know.
Yes, I think it is.
Yes.
Thermagist?
So here's the thing.
These are
Elemental specialization. So here's the thing: is she only briefly dabbles with the fire?
Yeah.
Okay, in the first one, she kind of she evades, she escapes. So
She's like a rogue.
yeah, she's skulking, like, and you have to. I mean,
Rogue mage?
if you've played the new Aliens games, you have to skulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're not playing as her.
no,
But-
no.
But besides the point,
Yeah.
What do you play as in Isolation? You're playing as her daughter?
her daughter between Alien and Aliens,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
with her
So-
looking for her.
So I feel she starts out as a rogue. You know, she probably has about 6 levels in rogue from the first movie.
Yeah.
But at this point, she's a caster for sure. She's got that weapons training. I mean, she's teaching new.
She casts Combust and Fireball.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly. You know,
So is that her class then?
It's a multi-class rogue
What
mage.
is her alignment?
Yeah.
she's so good in every movie. She's
Yeah.
always trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But she doesn't coddle people though.
Chaotic good? I don't know.
I don't know.
She does get in people's faces when they're like, she's like, I know what I'm talking about. She does.
But so do the righteous and like the
That's
lawful.
true. That's
So
true.
lawful
Yeah.
So I think she's a true lawful good. She is
So
that extreme.
good.
Yeah.
Her gritty personality, just her personality.
Yeah.
She's so self-sacrificing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Even with the child, like the child in the movie, she protects
Yeah.
the child.
Yeah,
And
that
she
doesn't
overcomes
change.
her prejudice against
Yes.
synthetics.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Filthy synthetics.
I have to say that was one of my favorite parts. Was
Yeah.
when Bill Paxton was forced to sit there and have his
Yeah.
hand, he's just screaming, and you're like, Bill Paxton, why?
How did you pass Space Marine training?
Yeah, like you're screaming at every opportunity. How did you get this job?
He's just waiting for
Anyway.
that
He's
twist
level
there.
1.
So is that
Yeah, that's
is
her.
that
Rogue mage.
You know
Sure,
what?
okay.
We were
Lawful
going to
good.
talk about this character at first, but I think we'd be remiss if we did not mention Vasquez.
Yes. Yes.
That's the lady with the big gun, right?
Yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, she's one of the
yeah.
smart gun
Never-
users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking badass.
She's awesome.
She
She's
is
another
so
caster.
badass. Yeah, and that actress, actually, she's in a bunch of stuff.
Is she?
Yeah, yeah. So she is badass all the time.
She was
Uh,
like the proto Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Proto.
The Frodo.
Proto.
So Vasquez, I mean, she's got that classic scene where she's being hugged by the lieutenant. They're in
Yeah,
that
and they
that
go
vent,
down.
and it's like she's like, hmm? And he's
Yeah.
like, mm-hmm. Boom. So like that scene alone, like she's badass. She's a fighter. Honestly.
Yeah.
She's up in the face. She's up there. She goes nuts and gets and everything. Like
Does she have a prestige class?
I think she's she's got to be.
Like
And
a weapon master?
Another
But-
weapon master.
But are we like we're treating?
She's kind of short. Maybe she's a dwarven defender.
Oh my god, yeah. He's
No,
right. No, he's
actually-
right. Because she goes down with the ship. She's all about like.
Or is she a halfling?
Oh, you can't be the DD class if you're a halfling though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
alright.
it's dwarven defender.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Of
Dwarf.
course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think she's.
Get a load of this fucking guy.
guy.
What is that? Like
This
some sort
fucking
of old
guy,
school,
yeah.
like equal employment. We only hire dwarves. Bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's only for the cool kids.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, the stumpy
Next
kids.
week, how Dungeons and Dragons is racist.
But yeah, she's a DD.
In a way, fantasy is oftentimes just inherently racist. Because
Oh, yeah.
it's like it plays on tropes.
Yeah,
let's not,
yeah.
Let's not actually, because that is.
Yeah, okay,
something
let's
funny
not get
to
into
talk about.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
Close the
even-
door.
So
Close
is
the
she a
door.
dwarven defender?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're treating her ranged weapon as like, say, like 2 axes, and that's cool. Like that's fine, because it's the amount of attack she's putting out is similar to the high weapon rate of the smart gun.
But how does she attain the same range?
She just
Sheer balliness.
sheer balliness.
That's on the character sheer
Fallenness.
Is that with two L's? Ballenness.
and she's got plus 10 in that. So
Yeah.
Plus 10, yeah, okay.
Plus 10 sheer ballenness.
Alignment.
She's over par.
she's chaotic
Neutral?
neutral. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Because
chaotic.
she can, at the beginning of the movie, is not down with like the whole mission. Doesn't really
No,
care.
she is
Yeah.
a true like fuck everything
I'm
marine.
in it for
Whatever
me.
you
Yeah.
throw at me, it doesn't.
I'm
matter.
badass. I'm gonna sit here and look good. That's all it is.
And then constantly fist with that one dude.
Yeah.
And not sorry, I mean tap fists.
Fist
there.
bump.
Fist. Constantly fist with that shit.
Hey,
So
guys, stop fucking fisting.
So the
2
word-
seconds.
The words
I'm
that I
sorry.
use sometimes escape.
No, it's great. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm fucking fisting he.
Fucking fist in here.
so that's the second character.
Yeah.
Third character.
A bone.
I love him.
Sergeant Apone.
So badass.
First of all, he has Pone in his name.
He goes too early. Wish they kept him around.
It
Yeah.
was the 80s, and unfortunately...
He was a black guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of what they did in the 80s movies.
But true to all 80s horror movies, only the women survive.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Well
so
played.
true.
Well, I guess Bishop
and children,
tech-
women and
technically-
children.
The child was also a girl, though.
But
So it's a double whammy.
it's-
yeah,
you
it's
saying
double shielded. Yeah.
It's the Titanic rule. Women
Yes.
and children live.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the Titanic. rule.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Fair
Apone.
Yeah.
it's a hard one. It really is.
Because there's not as much of them, right?
Because he's more of a commanding leader. He's more of like he does a lot of his work through his radio.
So he's got
He's
to
like a
have
tactician.
a high charisma score.
Yes. Very
So
high
is this?
charisma.
Are we kind of moving into the realm of like warrior bard?
Fighter bard. Yes.
Fighter bard.
Yes.
I mean,
The use of his radio could basically be compared to him.
Telling
yeah,
tales.
Telling
Yeah.
a tale.
everyone's
Getting everybody
gaining-
hyped. Yeah,
getting
don't worry,
information
we got
out
He's
there.
an officer, but he's a fight on the front lines with his
Yeah.
men officer.
Yeah, he's not a ranged
Actually, I guess he's a
bard.
sergeant, so he's not actually a real officer.
He's a true leader, though.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a true
down
leader.
leading the troops,
Yeah.
not standing over top of them, telling what.
Yeah.
And they
Which-
did have a guy like that. That like guy who had like no combat experience. Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
So which makes his alignment and class, his alignment really easy. I mean, he's neutral. He's
True
all
neutral?
about the straight. Like, well, I'd say he's lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I agree because
he's
he's got to
definitely
follow the
lawful.
command chain.
He's
He
not
follows the guy's
necessarily-
orders despite them being terrible.
Unfortunately,
probably
Aliens
not
doesn't get
selfless.
deep enough into his personal life that
Yeah.
we have literally this small
Just, yeah.
piece of the small research gap to do.
But it
use.
says a lot that in that small amount of time he leaves a huge impact.
yeah,
He does.
He does.
He's
Absolutely.
he's all
Can we
about
get an Apone spin-off movie?
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Actually, that's
How-
not a bad idea.
how.
I
Wow.
want to know more about the alien universe's
Yeah,
marines.
And there's so many movies that are like throwing it out there, but they're all like, "Oh, look at these shiny,
Yeah.
pretty
I would
things."
love-
They're always super vague about like what government exists, whether it's like different like human colonies
They're
that are
like, "Whoa, quote unquote, we're in the same universe. Here's
Yeah.
this little thing. Oh, it's crazy as fuck."
But there's
Yeah.
something nice to say about it. Of that,
it leaves it open.
it leaves it open and leaves to discussions like this. Right?
It's true.
True.
So it could be
Yeah.
anything. It could be as vast as you want.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
maybe we think it's this amazing big world,
yeah,
and
yeah.
really it's just super simplified.
Yeah. You don't really.
You never know.
So thank you, travelers.
Thank you,
good. That was
Dungeon
nice.
Master, for
Yeah.
taking us through If It Was D&D.
That was pretty good. I like that.
Are we done, or
Farewell
do
to
we
me.
want to do? Do we want to do Bishop?
Oh.
Yeah, let's tackle Bishop quickly.
Yeah,
We
okay.
have time to quickly tackle.
Come back, travelers!
wait.
Oh, we haven't left. We're still here.
I have a note.
I have some bread for you.
I love bread.
Lamba's bread.
So which
Elvish.
half of Bishop are we going to cover?
The top half or the bottom half?
Can we just talk about him as a general one-unit person?
So are we going to talk about that he bleeds milk, or
We're going to talk about his
He's a
alignment.
construct.
he is a true
He's a magical
construct?
He's a
construct,
raised mental
He is
construct.
a true construct, but he's intelligent.
Yes.
However, like,
And he has free will.
Yeah.
he is a non-combatant. I mean, yes, he does have the strength because
Yeah.
he's bound by his like super strength.
Yeah.
It being the
Yeah.
machine
Yeah,
synthetic, but he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
He's
Because he
got
follows
some
the
tricks.
laws or whatever.
Well,
he's
it's
almost
because
an-
they always sent him out to do things. Like he was going, like he went on the roof to repair the thing.
Yeah.
So he was separate from the group for a lot of
Yeah.
it.
But
And
he
then-
does come in at the end.
And then he's gone for this. whole
Sorry
thing
if
for the
nobody's
end.
seen this movie.
Yeah.
But he
haven't-
comes in and saves
If
the
you
day.
haven't seen this movie, you're wrong, and you should feel bad.
yeah,
So,
don't breed, please.
class, alignment.
Class. Well, he's got to have high int because
Yeah,
he's fixing everything.
Yeah.
He literally
You know,
has.
But he's also got a really high strength score.
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a. But he's so hard to class. A non-combatant, a pure non-combatant.
What if he is?
He's an NPC.
What if? What if
He's an
he's
NPC
a
construct.
pacifist cleric?
Pacifist? Yeah,
High int.
yeah,
He wins Ripley over, so he's got a bit of charisma.
yeah.
Strength score is high because, maybe if he were to fight, he'd be a melee combatant.
Like a base score of like 14 charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an 18 strength.
Yeah.
Nice rolls.
Yeah.
Nice rolls, Bishop.
But his int is probably only like 16 because he's capped off. Like he's no super intelligent. Like he's capped. He's limited by what his input is, right?
Right, yeah.
So I mean, as smart as we are.
So
as
what
smart
did you just say? He has high intelligence but lower wisdom?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. True.
Alignment.
Intro.
I don't know. I think he's good. I think he's.
I think he's a machine.
He's
Neutral.
true neutral. He's doing what he's only as good as the person.
They're
controlling him.
biological machines, though. They're not all just parts. They're
But
not. He's not data from Star
But he
Trek.
mentions in the beginning of the show when she talks about the old the movie, the old android. He literally mentions that he has laws that prevent him from doing
Yeah.
that.
Right,
So
so he's
he's
got a programming.
lawful neutral. Because he literally follows the laws that are programmed into him. He's not compelled to follow them because he knows it's right or
But,
wrong.
You got it, you got
but he's
it,
definitely not selfless.
Yeah.
Right?
He wants to live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's for
I
sure.
agree with Jeremy.
Yeah,
That's
I like that.
Good point.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Critical hit.
No,
All right.
So, Dungeon Master, can we leave now?
Yeah, should we leave? Fuck off! Get out of here!
Yes.
Can we
I have
do-
some scrolls to masturbate to.
Can we do one where we all just talk like that the whole time?
I would have trouble keeping that going the whole time, but I mean, people have told me that maybe I should just talk
yes.
like Kermit the whole time.
Hey, welcome to the High Level Wizards podcast.
Oh god.
I kind of like it.
The next segment we'll be going through is Answer Me These Questions 3 with Matthew.
Good lord.
Alright, we're going to answer some
Oh,
questions.
I'm excited
Okay.
for the question.
All right. So,
Signing off.
Answer me.
answer me these questions 3.
So for
All
those
right.
who aren't familiar,
Yep.
we give Matt the task of coming up with 3 fun, random,
Freeform.
free-form questions.
Kind of a
one for-
break from segmented, quote-unquote, nerdiness and just free-form 3 questions that I decide to ask people, and yeah, we just do it. So, first question. Russ,
Hello.
if you were to have sex with a lady
Ew.
on a rooftop, what country would you choose to do that in, and why? If you had the choice, unlimited resources, unlimited whatever.
Wow, what country?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously China.
What do you mean?
Why, yeah,
Obviously,
How is it
China.
obvious?
How
I
is
want to know. I just be like, fucking typical.
Those guys having sex on the rooftop in China just happened.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
is it a
You
guy
like
or
that?
a girl?
No, he said girl in the
Girl.
beginning.
Okay, China.
Okay. Alright. Alright. And
Why?
Just
Where would it be
Justification?
if it was a man?
Okay, wait. We're not at that.
It'll still be China.
Justification? Well, I really want to go to China, so I would just figure it.
You see a free trip out of it?
two birds with one stone.
Yeah, it's dope.
Or two Girls, One Cup.
Well,
A little bit of a throwback there.
Yeah, a little throwback. That was nice. Goodbye, Jeremy.
Good. Goodbye, forever. It was a good run.
All right. Wow, that was nice. That was really nice. Thank you, Russ.
Things I didn't need to know for 500.
All right, Jeremy.
Hello.
You have $1 million, and you're told you have to spend it all in one place in 24 hours. Where do you do it, and why?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. Hang on.
$1 million.
$1 has to be spent
All in one.
once.
Yeah.
I think.
I think I would.
Memory Express.
No, I would. I'm kind of thinking. Just some of the things that are going on. I would spend it at Home Depot.
Nice.
I would
Depot.
get $1 million. No, hang on, follow me here. I would get close to $1 million worth of supplies, so that I can fully renovate the rest of my home, finish the basement, do all those sorts of things.
Where'd you keep that stuff?
Wow.
Well, I would have to probably.
Horribly adult.
This is what I'd probably do.
I'm leaving.
No, I mean, you answered the question.
Yeah, of course.
Ask me the question.
It's very. I had my own interest.
You want to know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so you talk about storage. Well, you know what they sell at Home Depot? They sell all these sorts of sheds. I could probably buy, $10, $20, $50, $100,000 worth of sheds and put all the stuff in there. Where would I put the sheds? That's another question. I'm not sure.
That's nice. That was horrendously adult, but it was a good answer.
I just can't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old now, but I just can't think of spending $1 million at Memory Express.
But on a side note, you would need ball and stuff, and you would have a totally nerded
Yeah.
out area
Yeah.
in this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no you.
Yeah, it'd be
You
good.
wouldn't have spent all the money. 900.
Oh yeah, that's
And then just check out over the top.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
That was
okay.
nice. Okay, that was nice. And last but not least, G. Slumpadabooshus.
It sounds like a rap song. I slump in a dump, slump in a bump. Like all the girls that just
Slump in the night.
Slump in the dump is like
Sounds
really.
like squatting in a dump.
It's like really lazy anal sex.
Okay, so what's the question for Slumpadoosh?
So, the question for G is, what do you like on your pizza? What do you like on your pizza? What you go to?
It's gonna be a little boring answer, man. I'll take just pepperoni and onion, or even just plain cheese.
Onions?
Yeah, onions on
Lord.
What's wrong with onions?
Well, I just didn't know. Well, like an onion, there are clearly layers to G.
And each layer makes you cry a little bit.
Yeah. You don't want to get in there.
The deeper I get in here, I just keep crying further.
All right, thank you, G. That was awesome.
Yeah,
stuff.
good segment.
Alright.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, no
that was
problem.
Good. That was good. Looking forward to the questions.
You may pass.
Where are we going?
I don't know, some bridge. I don't know what's
Okay,
going on.
cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's
the
fine.
bridge to
Yeah.
Terabithia.
Let's move on to the final segment for this episode, episode 2 of the High Level Wizards podcast. Retro Corner this week. We've wanted to have a little bit of a theme to it.
It died.
Yeah, we took too long because I was bitching about Star Wars too hard.
So, Retro Corner this week, we wanted to talk about Duckman
Yep.
and Howard the Duck.
Yep.
And
And
We were gonna
we
do,
were a duck themed
yeah,
Mighty Ducks.
but again, I
like the
wrote it-
cartoon, the movies, all that. But
We're running pretty long here.
we executed that idea.
Yeah.
And now
Chopping
moving
block.
on. Okay, so
out behind the barn.
So let's start with Duckman. Something that I think we are all.
Can I
Yeah,
start?
of course.
No.
You
sorry.
should apologize. And
I
yes,
think
you
it
can
is
start.
the most underrated, I guess, adult quote unquote cartoon of all time. I mean, like you got Simpsons, South Park, Family Guy, but no one ever talks about Duckman, which I'm pretty sure launched the career of one Jason Alexander.
No, I didn't. He was
super famous.
already Seinfeld.
Oh, was he already?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
so famous.
So it didn't launch, but
made him even better.
yeah.
then.
You
You approve of him, yes.
Yeah, but it's just a.
So what makes it so good to you?
I think it's a show that is. It's not afraid to have a main character that is absolutely the worst human being on the face of the planet,
Most flawed.
and it's like unapologetic about it. Like,
Yeah. I love it.
but and I think it's a show that is certainly going to offend so many people, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's the point of the show so much as it is to sort of like point out that there's a duality to life, and that even though Duckman is like a walking piece of shit, he's also, you know, a character that cares about his kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
There's
I
actually
mean,
If he doesn't have to try too hard.
Yeah.
quite a good amount of like adult themed issues that he went through. Like it was truly like, you know, he was dealing with family issues with his family.
He's a widower.
He's alcoholic. Like all these issues that are like
Yeah.
actually quite prevalent. Like as we grow
He's a
up,
sex fiend.
And then he's got the perfect counterpoint in his, he runs a detective agency, and the perfect counterpoint would be his partner Cornfed, who is the straight man
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
to
absolutely,
his funny
Straight
man.
shooter.
Yeah.
Takes no credit.
Yeah.
Cold as ice, like,
Yeah.
doesn't really, you know, he's,
Nothing phases
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Deadpanned.
He keeps it
all the time.
frosty.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. God, I've
wanna
had
say
that
that.
entire show downloaded for a long time.
You mean
And,
on DVD?
Yeah, ripped off my DVDs onto my computer matrix, and I every once in a while I just pop in a random episode, and god damn, do I get the best sleep after.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. It's like a palate cleanser
I
of
mean,
life.
some of the jokes, I mean, like, there's a lot of really dumb jokes, and they make
Yep.
me laugh really hard.
Yep.
Like, there's this one scene where Duckman walks in on this bum, and he's on, like a water fountain, and he's squirting water up his butt. And he's like, "This is a private matter between a man and his bidet."
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
and it still is. I mean, and the nice thing is
Yeah.
that actually, I think most of it's available on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if you don't own the DVDs,
Illegally, of course, on YouTube, but
yeah, but
no one seems to care because they've been up there for years.
if it falls off a certain age and maybe the company isn't that
Yeah.
interested in selling it, but
Yeah.
clearly they're not because
Yeah.
you don't see Duckman
Yeah. It's
reviving
true,
or
I mean,
DVDs anywhere. Like
People don't really talk about the show, but
No. It's,
it was one that I watched all the
Yeah.
time.
but it used to be
every
on
day.
all the time.
Yeah.
yeah, every day
It
for
used to be
sure.
on all the time.
I think I was watching it when it was actually like new at the time, like
Yeah.
in the mid-90s
Yeah,
there.
you had to
And-
stay up late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Teletoon Friday night
Teletoon,
around
yeah.
midnight or something like
Yeah.
that.
11 or 12,
Yeah, something like that. Kind of the same thing as like South Park at the time.
Yep.
But
And then
yeah,
at 3 a.m.
it
turn
just
over
didn't
to
get enough
Showcase.
credit. I want to say now, let's try to figure out why it didn't get enough credit. And let's
Maybe
say a
it's
show
just-
like South Park did.
It was sloppy animation.
That's
I mean,
fine.
So
No,
is
but
South
that's
Park,
the-
so is South Park.
Yeah.
No, South
Park was
breed.
simple, it wasn't
Different
sloppy.
breed.
Yeah.
South Park took a long time to take off as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They just grinded through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously the 12-year-olds and all, like all of us, we love the show, but like it's not going to capture the greater audience. Whereas
Yeah, that's
Duckman
true.
was aimed at the greater audience.
Yeah.
So
Very
like
true.
I feel like the sloppy animation probably like you're sitting down, you're looking at this thing, you're used to like shows that have been attuned over the years, and this is like the 90s. They should look pretty nice.
It did get better by the third season or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like their style.
Yeah.
Like what's
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
It's
of,
almost like a I don't want to say film noir.
it was ahead of it. Oh, it is.
You know,
totally. It has
kind of
that
like a
Very
film
dark.
noir,
Very
comic
right.
booky.
and it was ahead of its time
Yeah.
because a lot of like the Nickelodeon shows animate like that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because it does kind of look like Rocco's Modern Life in a lot of ways.
Like they took that.
yeah.
They went that
Like
way.
the color palette seems really close to it, and
that's
a
a
lot
good
of
point,
like the
actually.
building design.
Just darker.
I also like,
Grittier.
you know, like they touched on a lot of subjects that were interesting, but then
Yes.
comically, like there was one episode in particular where there's a big feud between the two blocks, and like there's Duckman's
Yes.
like neighborhood,
Yeah.
which is like a lower middle class, and then there's like an upper class
Yeah.
neighborhood, and they go to war, and it really touches on some real subjects there in amongst the humor
Yeah.
that is really quite poignant
and
in a lot of ways.
Family Guy copy that idea at some point.
Family
Was
Guy's
Oh,
copied a lot of ideas.
yeah,
from a lot of
yeah.
people.
Like they've cycled a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But that's what they do.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what
the
they
style
do.
of their show. It's a pop
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
Pop culture
You
reference
put
fan.
pop culture,
Yeah.
Which is
pop
great.
culture
yeah,
through a
yeah,
shredder,
it's fine.
I like
Yeah.
it.
and you pick up all the pieces. You now have a Family Guy episode.
Well, you just get a couple of manatees.
Oh well, not a couple. It has to be three.
Three manatees to shit.
And if you remove one ball, they all stop working. So don't take one out. That's what I learned from that show.
Yes, it's
Um,
very
And
true.
if you don't know what I'm talking about, they have to what?
What?
Feel? Oh, well, you're supposed to say feel bad, and
Oh yeah, they should
But-
feel bad. Why aren't you feeling bad?
So yeah, oh my god, I'm gonna watch some more Duckman tonight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you should too, listeners. It's really, really good. Find some clips on YouTube if you don't know what we're talking about.
maybe you could tweet some out.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll find some Duckman memes, memes, if you will.
I like to call them memes, actually. Because...
Good lord, my
I had an aunt, Mimi. I did, and she lived to be 102.
Jesus Christ!
How many page views did she get?
Well, I
Can I find her on 9gag?
You can add her on Tinder.
Swipe to the left?
No, you want to swipe right on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right, yeah.
Duckman, very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. Okay, so the second component of the duck theme, Howard the Duck. Now, I wasn't as familiar with this guy as some others at this table here, so maybe, Russ, you want to give us a quick
interesting.
little...
Howard the Duck and Duckman, not that different.
No, really not. He's still a piece of shit. He's a cocky asshole. He's
an
Howard
alien.
the Duck, though,
Yeah, he-
wears clothes.
Yes, true. So Howard
Duckman's just the natural streaker.
Howard the Duck. It was this old 80s movie. It was like kind of sort of like the classic like Short Circuit, sort of that style of like
It kind of had this
Oddball
like
hero.
Italian New York accent going on.
Hey, I'm quacking here.
this fucking guy.
This fucking guy, quack.
So
Where do you get the balls?
So he's an alien. He gets he ends up on Earth, and he's trying to just basically find pussy, and accidentally saves the planet from people that were after him.
It's
or
just
his.
it's just an exercise in strangeness because you're watching what is obviously a puppet duck
Yeah.
Well, it's a guy
try
dressed...
to have sex with like a human being.
Yeah.
Like it's a live action movie.
It's
Yeah.
OG furries.
yeah, good point. It is
Oh,
OG
God!
furries.
That's where it started!
Is that a furry movie now?
No,
Oh
no, God, no,
wait.
don't.
What about Thundercats?
I'm
as
sorry,
OG
I made
furry?
the connection.
I don't think we should even...
Yeah, okay, let's not go there.
Yeah.
I have questions that I don't want to really answer to.
You did draw a lot of dicks on your paper there, though.
Actually, it's a wizard with arms that are very muscular.
Alright, okay, anyways, going on.
Very
Moving on.
dicks.
So there's a lot of classic like claymation in it.
Yeah.
Sorry, stop motion animation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's totally like claymation, basically, but it's so badass. Like I grew up on this movie, watching.
That explains a lot.
It's so bad. It's good.
Yeah.
That's honestly all you can really say about it.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
It's just so... like, I hadn't seen it in a while, but I do remember watching it like a couple of years ago, and it's just... I just couldn't... there's this profound strangeness to the movie
Yeah.
that, like, you don't get with other weird 80s movies or
Did
many
George Lucas
other...
create that character, or was he just like on the writing staff for the movie?
I forget.
That's a good
To be
question.
honest, yeah,
Because it is just so weird, man.
it is.
And
bizarre.
it's like George Lucas's other stuff.
Okay, wait, but he was...
It's all based in sort of like old adventures, like Flash Thompson for Star Wars, or Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
And or like the old sort of like pulp fiction novels for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But Howard the Duck is just so weird.
Okay, was he a Marvel character before the movie?
I don't know.
I thought he was.
Someone should have read the fucking...
No, there's no information available on the internet freely.
What's
So-
the internet?
Yeah.
That's a good question. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I thought we were here to roll dice.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, we'll get flamed for that.
So
And
what's-
we'll get back to it. We'll tweet it out. Or something.
So, Howard the Duck, what's the current news? Like, when I googled it, the first thing that came up was references to a new comic series coming out
Yeah.
from Marvel, and
Yeah.
then something about Guardians of the Galaxy. What was that about?
So, like at the end of any classic superhero movie, they have like a sneak preview of the next, in the works movie. And well, Guardians of the Galaxy. If you stay past the credits, Howard the Duck scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people don't know what that is, but I mean, anyone who's seen the haggard ass '80s action, yeah, it's exciting to see what they, because there's so many possibilities. He's from a different planet.
Yeah.
Classic hero, open world, open universe, and if they stick him in the Marvel universe, like that's just, I mean, raccoons and ducks and trees,
Yeah.
superheroes.
I could actually see a Howard the Duck movie working.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, don't click your pen, you goddamn Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Yeah, it's that spread from
Spread
Australia
from
that I really don't
It's
like.
oil.
Yeah, Howard the Duck's been a comic since 1973.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, and
So who created the character?
Fucking, I don't know.
They probably just bought it.
Is it Steve Ditko?
So
It's
here's
created by writer Steve Gerber and artist Val Mayrick.
Sounds like a fucking Nazi name.
How are the Ducks a Nazi?
well, you just
Little known fact: the Gerber's baby was in fact a Nazi.
Wow.
That's true.
That's actually great. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, check that out.
Wow,
Yeah.
he looks exactly like Donald the Duck there.
Kind
That's
of.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll.
So if
I'll
you're
tweet that out for sure.
if you're interested in what we're looking at, you just go to the Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll
I mean,
I'll
here's
tweet
the
it out.
thing,
I'll
though. If
tweet
they're
it out.
making a movie for now, Russ may get upset when I say this. If they're making a movie for Ant-Man, then I certainly think that Howard the Duck is certainly not something that could.
They're all going to be good. I have.
We're not going to get into it because it's a whole thing, and we're just
Yeah.
not.
We
gonna
may
get
have
into
to
it.
talk.
And we're
about
running out of
Ant-Man.
time.
Ant-Man was only good when he could shrink and command the ants. That's all I'm saying.
So you know what? I think that was a really good. That was a really good time. We had a
Yeah.
good discussion, guys.
Yeah.
Good topics.
Yeah.
So
Not bad.
this, I think, is the end of the High Level Wizards podcast, episode 2.
Yeah.
Just as a-
Yeah, we made it.
We
just,
made it.
Just as a reminder, where you guys can be contacted on Twitter.
Yeah.
you
So
are
so for me, Matt, it's at Rutoman.
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 Okay, and
At Phobos, at underscore Phobos, FOEBOS.
and G, if you want to go ahead and spell out yours for us, please.
It's Slumbadubis.
You have.
All right, no. Okay, seriously though, it's at Slumpaduchus, which is spelled SLUMPADOOCHUOUS.
I
That was pretty close. That was pretty close. That was not
You
bad.
only failed once.
Yeah, that was not bad. And Mr. Jeremy, of course.
You can always get me at the real J Shields.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
We'll catch you in 2
Yeah.
weeks from now. We're episode 3.
Yeah.
High Level Wizards podcast. Catch us.